Hi, everyone. Tony from Hack the Movies here. And a while back, I talked about a fan film called Leprechaun Revenge, and I gave it a nice review, but I mentioned some things that I would have done differently because, you know, it's not like the guy who made it was ever going to watch it. Anyway, that guy who made it ended up watching it, and he's here today, and we're going to talk about his movie Stream, among other things, on Hack the Movies. Hello, can you properly introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Michael Leavy. I am the director of said Leprechaun Revenge movie, as well as Stream. I'm a producer on the Terrifier franchise. I also played Will the Exterminator in the original Terrifier.
Best character.
Might have been the best death had we not had the infamous hacksaw scene happen there. So I like to at least tell myself that. And I'm also a producer on the film Screamboat.
Yes, which at this point I probably have talked about on our live wrap-up, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm very excited to see it. And we have Casey here. Hello, Casey.
Hi, Tony. If you see this, by the way, this is my sister's fiance, and it won't come off.
So you just have your...
I'll have him till the wedding. I don't understand. I swear I'm showering. But I'm so excited to be here for this episode. Thanks for being here.
Yes. Oh, God. I'm just dropping everything. It's been a minute. Yes, Stream. From 2024. I finally got a chance to watch it. It's available on Blu-ray now. You can get it at Scarecrows, where you can get a bunch of other things, apparently. But yeah, this one's been on my radar for a little bit. Everyone knows I was a little late to the Terrifier game, but I finally got on board. And I've been seeing stuff for Stream everywhere, like every convention. Our friend Tim makes this shirt from Tapes from the Crypt. Yes, I was excited to finally watch it.
And our pin from Horror Gods.
Yes, the pin right there.
From My Favorite Player 3.
And this is a rare thing where we get to actually talk to the person who made it. You know, sometimes you talk about these movies and it's just like, I would love to pick that guy's brain, but they're not around or they've been dead for decades. Luckily, you're here, so I can talk to you.
Fortunate. First of all, I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I actually am a fan of your show.
Oh.
I've seen it quite a few times, especially some of the Leprechaun episodes. You know, being a huge Leprechaun fan myself, so it's an honor to be here.
That was when you told me, you're like, I actually watch your Leprechaun episodes. I'm like, oh, shit, someone's watching this. Like, yes, nice.
That's how we feel with our films sometimes. Like, oh.
Yeah.
So let's get to know you a little bit. Casey, I have your questions underlined, and yours is the first one.
My favorite icebreakers. Okay, what's your favorite movie, your favorite horror movie, and your favorite Disney Channel original movie? I'm just kidding.
Well, the Disney Channel original movie, I'll tell you, Halloween Town.
Shut up. Easy. Yes, we have an answer.
Love it. So my favorite movie, it's a tough one, obviously, but one that always seems to come to mind is Back to the Future. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. Also, my cousin Vinny.
That's a good one.
And Wedding Crashers. Those are like my, kind of top ones. I know a lot of them were comedies, but I only answered comedies because you asked me about my favorite horror movie. They're really tough. That's a tougher than the favorite movie one because I'm just such a horror guru and a horror lover. So I give you a few of them if you don't mind, and I'll rattle them off quickly.
Okay.
Obviously, Leprechaun. That's no secret.
That's a good one.
When most people were, talking about Jaws, I was talking about Leprechaun. So, that was a big one. I think it's just the time I saw it as a kid. You know what I mean? I saw it at the right time. It was kind of made for someone my age, and it wasn't too scary, but was scary enough and had the comedy element to it.
I'm glad you said that. You probably heard me say this in the other episodes, but I showed my goddaughter and her sisters the first Leprechaun movie because it was supposed to be PG-13. They switched it to rated R.
Right.
And then my cousin just called me up one day. She's like, did you show the girls the killer leprechaun? Because they're pretending to be leprechauns saying they're going to rip ears off. I'm like, damn it. But anyway.
Yeah, so, that one, obviously, Halloween 1978. I can remember watching that with my grandfather and my mother. Every Halloween, it would come on TV. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King's It, the miniseries with Tim Curry.
Yes.
That movie scared the hell out of me. I was afraid to shower. The drain was something that I was really, really scared of.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, a big one was Nightmare on Elm Street, Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger. So those were like my go-tos as I was growing up.
I
I'm glad you mentioned those two because I got something to say.
I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Weren't you a producer on the documentary for Pennywise?
That was my update. That was my follow-up question.
I loved that doc.
I was going to say, you produced the documentary about the It made-for-TV show and the Robert Englund documentary.
That's
right?
correct. So
Yes.
I did. I was a producer on the Stephen King's It miniseries documentary.
I was about to say, like, how old are you? What
Documentary. Yeah, Pennywise, it's actually called.
Yeah.
And the story of it, and I got involved with that, and that's actually where I met Tim Reed on that, doing that doc, and that's why he's in
Yes.
Stream. And so that was a really, really great time. And I was also a producer on the Robert Englund documentary as well. I played Robert Englund. Not many people know this in a horror film called Fear Clinic that Robert Hall directed. It was a mini series or web series, I think it was originally one of the most successful web series, and they turned it into a film. And I was a associate producer on that. And then it was the stunt coordinator, one of the writers, and the director that was like, you kind of look like Robert. You have very similar features,
I see it.
very pointy features. Things like that. So I did it for Robert as a joke, and then he's like, there's a sequence in here where there's supposed to be a young Robert Englund, the character, whatever, Dr. Andover, and that's how I looked. He just had lighter hair than I did, so they cast me in the role. And
I'm sorry, I've seen young Robert Englund like in V, and I'm seeing it.
So and now you'll never unsee it. So if anybody's looking for anybody to play the new Freddy Krueger, I'm here.
Also, John Belushi, I'm available.
Yes.
I technically lived longer than he did, so I have like 5 years left.
So it sounds like a new Blues Brothers thing that we can do, Freddie. And I actually did a comedy with these guys, Seashells Productions. I played Date Night with Freddie. Okay. And I got to play Freddie, in that. It was a comedy, but it was a lot of fun. But anyway, so I did that, and I played some of the demonic version that he was called Black or Blackness. I think it was Black. And I got to do some of that with the prosthetics.
Wow.
Nice. Quick question quick follow-up to that. The guys who also made that, was it Dead Mouse Productions, right?
Yes. Great group of people.
They were on my show. I had them on a few years ago. We did an episode called How to Make Movie Documentaries. It was right after RoboDoc came out.
Right.
So I watched.
Great group of guys.
They're awesome.
Their whole entire team.
They were hilarious. But yeah, we talked about the It documentary, the Robert Englund, and then the big focus, of course, was RoboDoc because it came out. But yeah, I realized I had watched their Hellraiser one ahead of time too, not realizing it was them. And then I saw your name attached, and I'm like, oh shit, I like both those movies. Okay, so Fuzz on the Lens Productions. How'd that happen? Where'd that come from?
So I was always interested in making films since I was really young. And I can remember being 3 years old and, kind of mimicking the TV and wanting to kind of get into this world. Again, I was really obsessed with horror and comedy. That's where my heart lies. And you can see that a lot in the work that I do. You know what I mean? I produce a lot of my horror films have a little bit of comedy in them. My comedy films that I've done have a lot of horror elements to them, and I've loved Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps. So that's kind of where I was at growing up. And so I used to steal my mom's camcorder with my brothers and my siblings and my friends, and we would shoot stuff in the neighborhood. And I went to high school, and I was a part of my television studio there, and I would do skits and different things and parodies. I did a spoof on Saw called Flaw, and I would get all the teachers involved. And it was a lot of fun, but it was there that we were shooting something, and I was actually with one of my business partners, co-founder of Fuzz on the Lens, myself, my brother, and this other guy, Steve. We were shooting this movie for high school, and a friend of ours who's now an accountant, has nothing to do with the film world. He's recording the scene, and he still, as he's rolling, there's a fuzz on the lens.
Oh.
So he turns it around, he's blowing on it. We look like a bunch of morons looking into the lens, trying to figure it out. We're licking our fingers. We can't seem to get it off. This is like a half hour of this going on. And again, we have it all on tape. We realize it's not a fuzz on the lens, it's a smudge on the viewfinder. So it was on the reverse. So it became this ongoing gag and this joke that every time we'd say, make sure you check for that fuzz on the lens. So when, it came time to name our group or what we were doing, it became Fuzz on the Lens Productions.
That is hilarious.
And it meant something to all of us. We do. We have the clip.
That should be at the end of every movie.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, so it's cool.
That reminds me, whenever I give people one of my cameras, I have peaking on so you can tell what's in focus, but they never know that. So I'll be like, how do I look? And they're like, it's all red. I don't know what's going on. Why does it look all red? I'm like, no, that's fine. That means it's in focus. Or you got the zebras on to check if it's too bright.
There's something wrong.
They all freak out. It's fine. It's supposed to look like that.
Because you said that you were Freddy Krueger in this. Do you prefer the acting or directing?
So, yeah, I do act a lot in my stuff, very small. I think the answer is this. I feel I'm a better director because I'm able to get a lot out of people. I know how to communicate. I love both pretty equally, but if someone was to like just say, you have to pick one, I actually would pick acting only because I think that's a lot more fun, whereas directing, there's a lot of stress involved.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that there's no stress when you're, directing or when you're acting. But I just think that there's just so much on you when you're the director, where you're acting, you're just kind of focused on your role and you're kind of focused on your character. And then again, obviously you see it. You know what I mean? You can see, so I if someone was to say you can only pick one, I would choose acting, but just because of the fun aspect of it. But I do believe that I'm a better director, producer. But again, I like all elements of it, for sure.
That's so cool. You wear many hats. Done all the things.
More than this one right here.
Okay, so how did you get involved with like Damien Leone and like Terrifier and everything? How did you get involved with all that?
So I was directing my first feature film called Abnormal Attraction, and it was a comedy monster horror film. It was almost like an adult version of Halloween Town, or so it starred Malcolm McDowell, Gilbert Gottfried, Tyler Mane was in it.
I love Gilbert. I worked with Gilbert Gottfried twice, and he was the
He's
nicest.
Great, nice, and so like quiet, right? When you
yes, that's what I always tell people. Like he would just like when cameras like weren't rolling, you'd be like, okay, yeah, all right,
that's exactly how it was. It was like action, and then it was cut. How was that, Mike? Like really,
is that okay?
Yeah,
that
really
good?
monotone. So I did that film. He played a pig cop, pig man monster cop.
Yeah.
Like so, we had a lot of fun. But it was we had a great cast. So on that set, I had met Phil Falcone, who's the executive producer, Damien Leone's partner in the Terrifier franchise.
Okay.
He was just getting into making films, and he was just gearing up to do his movie called Joe's War. So he'd kind of come by our set to see, because a sound guy, and more than that, really, post-production supervisor, producer guy, this guy Jason Milstein, was doing our sound, and he was doing a lot of post-audio for us as well. He brought Phil to the set because they knew each other. Yeah. And it was when we built this whole monster village, like this whole camp, and in the middle of the woods. So Phil, I think, was really impressed with that and who we were, what we were doing. And again, he was trying to get into the film world, retired from the stock exchange, just trying to do what his dream always was. So he invited us to work on his movie, Joe's War, and it was there that Damien also was doing some effects. And they were gearing up to do this Terrifier movie, and it was the feature after All Hallows Eve and all of that stuff. So we got involved around that time, but again, it was originally only as actors. And Phil also was like, maybe come on, do some crew stuff as well. But it was, I was cast as Will. Originally, I was actually cast as one of the cops, and then changed to Will. And then my brother got the other cop, and my business partner Steve got the other one. But on the first film, it was mostly acting with some crew work. But then we just became so close, and we really all just hit it off. Like now we're really best friends, and we always hang out. Anybody who knows and follows us, you'll see we're always together. It kind of blossomed into doing more, and also I realized my character's dead, so how do I stick around? I'll produce the next ones, and I became the assistant director, and so we really got involved early on with the Terrifier franchise before it was what it is today.
How did you enjoy filming in the Fright Factory?
It was cool.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I filmed there a couple times too.
Yeah.
So I was telling her when we reviewed it, I'm like, when I saw the giant rat head, I'm like, I used that rat head. I love that thing.
It was cool. It was really, really cool. Freezing because there's no heat down there, and it was in the middle of the winter. Yeah. But we had fun, and Frank over there, everybody's really just wonderful, wonderful.
Okay, so Stream. That goes into production like right after Terrifier 2, right?
Yeah, it almost kind of somewhat during, because Terrifier 2 was paused because of COVID.
Yeah. I was going to ask, how did COVID complicate this production?
So on a lot of levels. So Stream, so anybody, quick backstory, Stream involves, I'd say 95% of everybody that's involved with Terrifier is involved with Stream. Yeah. We had been working on it for a while. I think we wrote the script back in 2015 or 2016. We were working on another film called Penance Lane, which was Tyler Mane's movie. He's in it with Scout Taylor Compton and Danny Roebuck, and that's how I met Danny. He was in Stream and Terrifier. John Schneider's in it. So it was around then we were developing this idea. It was before even my involvement with Terrifier. Yeah. but it was all around the same time we're developing that, and Terrifier's happening. So now we're shooting Terrifier 2. And right after we shoot the whole clown cafe sequence, which was later in production, I think it was March 2020, everything gets shut down.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we just started shooting the alley bedroom sequence, and then everything was like, you got to stop. So now what are we doing? So we took that opportunity while Terrifier was on hold to gear up and get everything prepped for streams. This way, once everything's greenlit, we can finish Terrifier and go right into stream. And so that's exactly what happened. And during that time, we shopped the script around. We finished out getting some of the funding. We ended up getting in touch with our great cast that we ended up getting with Jeffrey Combs and Danielle Harris and Dee Wallace. And
it's an all-star cast.
So on and so forth.
Icons.
It wasn't ever supposed to be like that, which is funny. It was obviously being a fan. It was like, oh, this person would be great in this role. And I'd love to work with so-and-so. They would fit this character great. And then you start showing them and they really liked the script. And they enjoyed what we were trying to do, and that, yes, we were making a slasher, but we were also trying to give it some substance, which is why it's a little bit on the longer side and almost feels like a drama in the beginning. Before I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a little heavy for a slasher in the beginning, but then it
I was invested in it, really.
And that's what I wanted, you know what I mean? And Jeffrey Combs actually was somebody who, kept praising that element of the film. He's like, I like that these characters aren't just, one-dimensional, that there's a father and there's like a real situation that's happening, and like you really get invested, which I think there's a payoff later for all of that. But it was during the COVID that was all put together, but COVID also, which we didn't realize, really ballooned our budget because we weren't, when you're making movies hard enough, right? Yeah. And now you're dealing with all of these stipulations that you have to navigate through, and then it raised it with PPE, HEPA filters, COVID compliance officers, all of this stuff. So that's why once we finished shooting, we basically took all of our post-production money that we had aside, had to put it into all of that stuff, and then ended up opening up a crowd fundraising campaign to let other horror fans, which we thought would be cool to kind of get involved with, and help us raise whatever we needed left to finish in post.
I do think it was good that the movie was basically completed when you did that. So that's, I think people donate it because of that. They're like, well, the movie's done.
Right. It's going to happen because I know a lot of these, sometimes crowd movies get this bad rap now because these filmmakers, they say they promise the world and then they just take the money and never shoot anything, which sucks. And so I think everyone got to see, which also helped because now you're seeing Dee say, hey, we made this movie, or you're seeing Tony Todd, or you're seeing Jeffrey Combs. So it was definitely a different way of doing it. We wouldn't have went that route had we not had to, obviously, because we thought we had the funding in place. But I'm glad we did because the horror community is amazing. I'm a part of it myself. And we really thought it would be cool to open up. And the fans have been amazing in championing this film and pushing it forward and getting the word out there. So it's been a blessing.
So for any of you who don't know what stream is, can I read the back of the box here?
Sure.
Okay. When Roy and Elaine Keenan realize their family is drifting apart, they seize the opportunity to recreate a vacation from their past. A peaceful stay in a quaint hotel is just what they need. However, that is not what is in store for them. With 4 deranged killers patrolling the seemingly mundane halls and competing in a twisted game, the odds are definitely not in Roy's favor. That's clever. That was clever. I see. I read that earlier and I didn't catch that. That's clever. He must fight for his life, those of his family as their simple weekend getaway truly turns into a vacation to die for. Now, Hunger Games. That was a good play on Hunger Games. Now, obviously, slashers, they're in a location. It's being live streamed to the internet. I think I know where you got this. That means, like me, you love Halloween Resurrection. You think it's the best Halloween movie. Now, when did you first see Halloween Resurrection? How did it inspire you to make this film? Please go on to it for 10 to 15 hours if you want.
Yes. I actually saw Halloween. That might have been the first Halloween movie I saw in theaters, believe it or not.
It was my first Halloween movie I saw in theaters.
I remember when I saw it. My aunt took me to see it, which is interesting enough.
Fun fact, that is the mask.
Right. I noticed that when I came.
The clown is also the clown mask that the crazy guy has in the beginning.
Yep.
But you know this because we're hardcore Resurrection fans.
My reputation's going.
Is it sad that there's been other movies that were about live stream murders, but my mind always goes to
the Resurrection,
Halloween Resurrection.
That must have been it. That's funny.
But yeah, so where did the idea come from to have like the slashers and the whole live streaming? I know live stream is even bigger now.
So we always wanted to do something in one location because I think that is creepy, and I think it aids also to just atmosphere. So it was always like this one location, and we kept talking about, okay, how do we take something that everyone does? And so this happened on two levels. One is like a metaphorical level, one is a physical way, and it was Friday the 13th, right, exposes being in the camp. Jaws exposes Day at the beach. Halloween exposes being in the neighborhood, and Nightmare on Elm Street exposes your dreams. Psycho the shower, right? It was always like you take those things that those safe places, those safe spaces, and then you just kind of exploit them. So one thing was the technology. Everybody uses it. And in this day and age, that's all of our phone. Right now, you're watching this probably on your phone or computer or whatever. So it was like, okay, we feel safe using it, but there's a lot of question marks to it. So it was like that technology kept being there. But I said, but how do we take that technology? How do we turn it into a slasher film, right? So then it was like, okay, everyone goes to a hotel. And, we wanted our hotel not to be the one that you'd say, why would you stay there? No one was ever going this hotel.
I was going to say, you said like places that feel safe. Like, no, I've been in some hotels.
Right.
That
So we were like,
safe.
we wanted the general look of like a Holiday Inn or like a resort, like a family place that when you watch stream, you look at that place, like, yeah, I'd stay there. You know what I mean? Like doesn't seem too, on the radar there. And so that was really the start of it. Also at the time, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and everything was just rising up. So I wish we would have invested in that while we were writing it. We probably would have been pretty successful.
You're giving me PTSD. I worked at a credit union at the time, like when it was first blowing up, like 2014, 2015.
Exactly.
And the old ladies there told me that it wasn't real. Don't invest in it. If I could go back to one time in my life.
So that's how I feel. It's like, we were writing a movie about all of this, but yet we didn't invest in it. So, so that's really where the start of it kind of happened. And it was also like, okay, everybody has this, they're always looking for the one horror icon, right? And it's hard to do. It is. It's really hard to do. And I don't think when you're making a horror movie, that should be your goal to set out to do. So that's partly why we said, okay, let's focus more on the location and the game element of being that's your thing that could go on and that's something that doesn't have to be that keeps it from getting stale. Where you can change up the game where it's played and the location, and instead of having one killer, you have 4 killers and they all have their own unique personality. So it was a lot of these things that kind of we wanted to do the opposite of what was there, but also pay homage with tropes as well. With our masks, they're carbon fiber hard masks. It was the reverse of what Michael Myers and Jason, those are white masks. Michael in particular is like a rubber. These mouths are open, their mouths were closed or no mouth. Our eyes light up. The other ones were dark.
That's pretty funny.
So there was a lot of like reverse engineering that kind of happened while we were developing the looks of the players.
I think you guys beat Hard Eyes to the punch when it came to LED
we were before.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they saw Stream or heard of that. I've heard of it. I was interested when I saw it. But yeah, so it was like I've never really seen that before. I obviously The Purge had some light up things that were on there. And funny enough, the director of The Purge, James DeMonico, really loved Stream. He gave us a quote. He gave us a quote, which was really, really cool. He's such a supporter and champion of the film, and he got what we were going for. And being horror fans, we really wanted to do something that paid homage to the genre. There are so many things in there that maybe people don't even get, specifically like that pay tribute to other horror films. And then we tried to do our own thing as well. And so like, I'm really proud of where Stream ended up. And there's a lot of horror fans that, got excited about. That's why it's continuing. That's why we just greenlit a sequel, because it's moving.
And again, I like the premise.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you. Yeah.
That is
We're
so
excited.
exciting.
We're
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get a second fleece blanket when it comes out.
It's soft, right?
Yeah, it is.
So nice.
It should be the same killers, but the colors and the eyes are different. I'm like, well, now I got to get a whole new blanket to match.
Merchandising.
I will say the premise is really good. I like how, you set up the killing. It's not just Michael Myers comes home and goes, why are there so many people in my house?
Right. And one thing, it's maybe a little bit of a spoiler, but not so much a spoiler, but it's something I do like to talk about just to show how much we really did put into it. Being a fan of Halloween, right? Remember Michael Myers comes over the back of Jamie Lee Curtis and he takes the sewing needle and he stabs it and pierces his neck and the mask. We have a similar scene with Danielle where she's in a situation, I won't say where it goes, but she grabs a pen and goes to hit our mask and it bounces off because it's hardened carbon
That's
fiber.
funny.
So it's like updated mask. But also she plays Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter in the Halloween movies, right? So there was like, we tried to do some of those parallels, like Tim Curry's in the film and he has a line that says, "I am no clown." And you know,
I got that
there
one.
were like little nods that we tried to pay tribute to the movies that we love. Because Stream, to me, I just wanted to make a fun movie that like people can go, "Oh, that was cool."
Fun fact about Tim Curry. Thank God I watched this movie twice. Didn't know there was like a scene after that one.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like typing up the notes and I'm seeing Tim Curry's name everywhere. I'm like, I just watched that movie. Tim Curry's not in that movie. And I watched it again. I'm like, oh, there was a whole other thing that I missed. Tim Curry. So that is him. For a minute, I'm like, oh, it's probably just his voice. Then I saw the picture of you and him. I'm sorry, skip it. How did you get Tim Curry in this?
So Tim, I've been obviously a huge fan, like forever. Always wanted to work with Tim. And so I actually wanted my first film, Abnormal Attraction, and that was around the time when he had his stroke.
Yeah.
So unfortunately that didn't happen, but I kept in touch with Tim. I kept in touch with his management, and over the years would check in. Obviously the documentary. So I was always kind of around Tim, and always. So finally, when this came up to do this, I didn't know if he'd want to ever be a part of this or do this. So I just said, really, obviously he's such a huge inspiration as to why I got into this. This genre, into filmmaking. And so I just said, you got to ask. And Tim read the piece there, and he says, yeah, this looks like fun. I'd love to be a part of it. And that was it. I went and we did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was really cool, and he's great, and he's so humble, and it was a wonderful experience to be with him. I brought him a bottle of wine and red and Italian red wine. He loves it, and we just had a really great time, and it was really nice just to be with him. And he was like shocked. I came out to see him and do it, and I was like, I'm shocked you said yes.
No, you're Tim Curry. I'm shocked you're doing this.
Yeah. L.A. Yeah, he lives out in California. So it was an honor to do that. And honestly, everybody, we had in that same scene Bill Moseley and
Terry
Kaiser, Weekend at Bernie's. He's a great guy. So I really, our cast was really awesome, and it was again, as a horror fan, I was really happy to kind of do that. I don't necessarily always love ensemble films. A lot of times they don't work out, but I wanted to make sure that anybody who was a part of it, it was something that was a fun reason why they were a little nod, or they fit the character. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I could go get some unknown person to do the role, but if this person is Tony Todd that fits it and can bring some kind of gravitas to it, and again it makes sense, then I've wanted to be able to do that. So it was really cool that it all came together that way.
I just love that he wore the leather mask the whole time. I'm like, that's dedication.
Yeah.
Although he has a history of that. He was in makeup for all of Legend, which, by the way, I reviewed Legend twice this year. Both versions.
I love Legend.
Which version do you like more? Director's cut or American theatrical? I'm all in on director's cut.
I like them for both reasons. So that's why I'm hesitant on it. Yeah, I like them for both reasons. Well, here's my question. I'm going to flip it. I'm not avoiding the question, but I'm curious about this. I don't want to forget it. Halloween 6. Do you like the director's cut or the theatrical release?
I'm glad you asked. I'm not going to answer because the episode airing before this is me breaking down both versions.
Okay. Well, tune in on that. Or maybe this is after, so maybe you already know.
This is after, so go back.
Go back.
Casey, you had a question that was also Halloween related here.
Oh, yeah. Did you take inspiration from Rob Zombie's Halloween? There's
No.
just some shots. There's some shots.
I don't
when
think
Dee
I
slams
did.
into the table.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
It's okay if not.
Yes, I know what you're saying. What's funny is I actually was curious. I was like, can we throw Dee through a table? And somebody mentioned, well, she was thrown through. And I went back and watched it. I was like, oh, yeah, she was. So I guess maybe subconsciously it was there.
And the girl down the hallway.
Which girl down the
naked
hallway?
one.
The naked girl down the hall.
Sorry, I don't worry.
Oh,
yeah.
It's his sister in that one.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I guess, again, being a horror fan, sometimes it's just subconsciously in there. So maybe, yeah. It's funny. It's funny. I have such a love for the Halloween franchise in general.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you guys even know. We did a fan film.
I saw that
called
on
Halloween. There was one that was Halloween Awakening that we actually submitted to Halloween Movies when they were running a fan contest. We poured like everything into that, and then the competition got canceled. But we still released it, and they saw it, and they called me about it, and they loved it. I talked to them over that. Like, I know them now, so it was a funny story. And then we spoofed the Halloween 2018 trailer. We did Halloween 60, and we got a current mold of William Shatner's face now. and receding hairline, and we did shot for shot. You got to check it out. Shot for shot of this, but it's Old Man Myers, and we kind of like all the tropes, like the accessoride bus crashes instead of the criminally insane. You know, there's a lot of funny.
Did you see our Halloween parody we did a few years ago?
I have not.
We did.
But I have to check it out.
We did Halloween in 5 minutes. We condensed the whole movie into 5 minutes, but it's got like a million in-jokes in it for like the rest of the franchise.
Oh, awesome.
Casey was our Laurie Strode.
Very nice. I'll have to check it out.
I want to say 6 people played Michael Myers, much like the original Halloween.
So you follow suit.
You can tell though, because it's like me when I was heavier filling out the suit. I get shot, fall down, and then it's Joe's wife who's way thinner. Like in between shots, Michael's just changing.
That's fine. Well, that was like the mask in H2O. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like 4 or 5 masks in that movie.
And a CGI one.
Yeah, that's the most disturbing one out of all.
Wild.
Can we go back to the theatrical and director's cut? Can I share mine?
Sure.
But it's for a different movie that had a big impact on me. I like the theatrical cut of Crybaby.
I haven't seen Crybaby in so long.
It's one of my favorite Johnny Depp movies.
I do like John Waters though. I did a while back. Me and Casey did, or you're Casey. Kaylee, me and her did Serial Mom, which was a lot of fun.
Okay.
But I want to check. I didn't realize there was a director's cut for Crybaby.
I didn't know that either. Yeah,
I missed out on that. Kaylee also reviewed that one. Check that one out. Okay. But yes, Casey. He wasn't inspired by Rob Zombie's Halloween. He was clearly inspired by Halloween Resurrection. We've covered things.
Just second nature to all of us.
I'm just so happy I have a new best friend who loves Halloween. Because, I've reviewed that twice on Movie Dumpster and my channel, and Casey and Tim didn't like it as much as me. Anyway, so some things I really related to in this movie, especially with the little, I don't know why I relate to a little boy, but family interrupting a live stream. Like when I first started like live streaming down here like years ago, they would come and be like, hey, can you pause that? I'm like, that's not, I'm trying to entertain at that time 12 people. I'm like, I'm trying to entertain 12 people right now. Which that kid's like, 1,200. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. That kid pulled in bigger numbers than me.
There was a big debate on the number of people that he was going to be streaming to. We're like, we wanted to be significant-ish, but like not like this kid is, you know what I mean? So it was like, okay, where do we... So that's what we settled on.
Is he pulling in 1,200 regularly? Because then he's making
no, it's his new. I think he says this is the most I've ever had.
Oh,
so
okay,
who knows?
okay, that's fine.
I love their relationship, the dad and the son.
Me too.
It was really good.
I did too, and there was a lot that we pulled from like the lead actor Charles Edwin Powell's life and my own life, and like. It was. We wanted to just feel genuine and real, and he said when he read the script, he compliments. He's like, "There's a lot of things that sounded like it was coming out of my own house." And what's cool about him is we didn't want Kevin. This is kind of an aside. Who's the son? We didn't want Kevin to just be this tag along character to the dad. So a lot of times Charlie did it. He gave his lines to Kevin. And I think that worked so much too because Kevin was kind of onto it before everybody else was. You know what I mean? He was the one that was, technologically advanced. He was the one that was being more observant. The dad was almost the one that was along for the ride for a lot of it in the beginning until he put it together. And so that was really cool that Charlie, most actors want more lines, and Charlie was just saying, no, let's give it to the kid.
Was he in Terrifier? Was he the cereal box kid? Or
yes.
Okay.
That's how we met. So that's Wesley Holloway plays Kevin Keenan, and that's how we met him. And I was like, this kid's an incredible actor, and was like, he needs to do more. And so when Stream came along, we auditioned him obviously, but it was a no-brainer. We knew we wanted him for it, and he nailed it. And yes, he is the serial kid commercial.
That's so cool.
He's giving it his all in this one. He's doing a good job. I love when he's recommending that he digitally transfer the home video, because I had to do that with my family a few years back.
Right.
Which, by the way, I like that the dad is still watching it in his high 8 tape.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a high 8 tape. Which means he's got one of the last flat screens that have AV cable connections. I had a TV die recently that had like component and AV. I'm like, now I got to get converters.
Yep. So there was a lot of thought that we put into all of that tech stuff.
I do like that the kid even points out, he's like, I think this was outdated when you shot it. Because he's like, because the kids aren't that old. I'm like, man, he's really has an upgrade. How does he still have tapes for it?
Yeah. And it's so true. It's like those were used like when we were maybe younger, and it was like, he's like, Yeah,
at that point, cell phone cameras out, but this guy, he's just like, nah, sticking to that.
Yeah.
I bought that camera. I'm
Digging
using
in.
it until time. My high 8 camera still works. I was shocked. I turned it on. I'm like, it's still alive.
That's crazy. That's great.
Okay, so we get to see our first kill, which is with Denise Crosby, right? Or no, not Denise Crosby.
D. Wallace?
D. Wallace. Denise Crosby also has short hair, all right? I mixed them up. Let me do that again. So D. Snyder's in the So we see our first kill with D. Wallace. And then there's a guy installing cameras or whatever. Where did the idea for the plague?
That actor was very tough to work with. The guy putting the cameras in place. He was.
You know what? That's when you should have stepped in and just did the part yourself.
Right. I know. If only I had thought to do that.
So, where did the idea for the plague doctor look come from? Because that's like a very specific thing. Like skulls, we've seen that before, but it's like no, that was a choice. Where did plague doctor come from?
Multiple reasons why that was picked. Mm-hmm. One of which I was really into the look of the Poughkeepsie tapes, and there's a mask in there. It's a masquerade mask more, but it's got this really pointy nose. And I'm like, there was something creepy about it. And I was trying to say, it just stuck with me. So when it came time to do Lockwood's mask, I just kept saying this pointy nose, this pointy nose. And then also, obviously the plague mask, I kept kind of assimilating that to the pit boss, the person running the whole operation, the doctor of the game, and that kind of kept coming into my head. And then it was also like, it's old, but it could also be new, especially when the pandemic was coming around and COVID. It was like this. It was a lot kind of going on with all of that when we designed it. And then, it was also kind of like this. Everyone talks about horror gore stuff as torture porn, right? They're always like, so we were like, oh, maybe we put them in like leather and like, there's so there's a lot of different layers to like why we chose that. And then again, we modernized something that was old, and that was the whole thing. It was like taking something old, slashers, right? 70s and 80s, and turning it into something new. We modernized with the LED lights. It was taking something old, the plague doctor and all of that stuff, and then modernizing, making something new. And like now we has the leather beak, the white beak. It used to be black and with the eyes that light up. So there was a lot of these different layers and elements that I think why that came to be.
I love it. The plague doctor thing is really creepy. Whenever you see it in like what was Haunting of Bly Manor had a plague doctor ghost in it.
There's something about it that's just unsettling.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to think like back then you're like, oh yeah, there's the doctor, and now when you look back, you're like, that's horrifying.
Right. It's like the Grim Reaper's coming in.
Okay, a lot of mentions of Pennsylvania in this. Where was this movie shot?
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So originally the script was actually in Florida. It was, they were doing the standard drive from New York down to like Disneyland or something, or Wally World. That was the whole thing, and it was driving down to Florida. But when we got the location, it was a resort, an old resort in Gettysburg, and we didn't want to make it Gettysburg, but somewhere in Pennsylvania, keep it a little more vague. So then we changed a lot of the dialogue and things like that. Also, it made sense just their travel, like if they're coming from like New York, and they're stopping off here, so it just kind of all fell into place as to why it was.
And you changed that ahead of time because it would have been funny if they're all in Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, we changed that.
Love Gettysburg.
We did. We changed that ahead. It's funny originally. So Jeff Combs had read the script when it was in Florida. And we were toying with the idea of like, does he put on like this Southern accent, but it's not that good? And he was like, he's putting on an act. So like we were toying with that, but then we were like, maybe it's too confusing. And then when it changed to Pennsylvania, it's like, all right, really, what, accent? It's not as, just disparaging as a Southern accent would have been. So we just kind of dropped it. But yeah.
Quick question about Jeffrey Combs. One, what's your favorite Jeffrey Combs role?
Mr. Lockwood and Stream. No. So I love him in Re-Animator, right? But I really, really appreciate him in a film called Would You Rather. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it. Brittany Snow. I think he's incredible in that. I love that film. Okay. My brother introduced me to that movie. Also, The Frighteners.
He is great in Frighteners.
I mean,
I love him in Frighteners.
He's so quirky in The Frighteners. So, I mean, like, I just love how he approaches all of these different characters and makes them really unique.
I love him in Faust.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Faust?
I have not. So
you know what's funny? Everyone calls Faust a Spawn ripoff, but the comic actually predates Spawn, but the movie was made after the Spawn movie.
Fair enough.
No, I love him in like Castle Freak and everything.
Yeah, Castle Freak. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Great actor. I have to ask, because he is a hotel clerk in this. And he was a hotel clerk, and I still know what you did last summer. Was that intentional?
Yeah, I mean, again, these are some of the crossovers. Yeah, it again, the character was written before Jeff had taken on the role, but yes, there was obviously like, oh, and this is like a cool little nod to that.
Yeah.
You know?
It is funny because not a lot of people remember the specifics of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, especially people who made the new movie. They just forgot that movie existed.
No,
by the way.
Lies.
Mike, I've met two people who actually liked the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it's both girls on this show, Casey and Lauren. Both of you are like, I really liked it. I'm like, I haven't met a single person.
I have not seen it yet. So
you can remain neutral.
Right. I
You won't spoil anything.
Okay.
But it's funny because Jeffrey Combs in that, he's like a dick to everyone. He's really mean. They're kind of suspicious of him, and then he just like gets killed. He was innocent the whole time. This is the reverse, where he's really nice to everyone. Yep. He's really good,
and that was conscious. And that was conscious as we built it as it further went along. And then we were also toying with that. It's like, do we want to have the wink that it's Jeff because the audience, sees him and they go, all right, he's the bad guy. So it was like, how do we play this? You know what I mean? So that was a lot of conversation, dialogue.
He's not always the bad guy. I believe he was the good guy in the short-lived Aliens interactive ride.
There you go.
That was a thing that existed. There was like an Aliens ride that was like a theater thing that you got in that shook, and I think Jeffrey Combs was the hero.
That's
like
cool.
the Colonial Marine in it.
Disney?
It was, no, I don't know where it was exactly. You could watch the video on YouTube. Like, wait, is that Herbert West as the Marine?
That's funny.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's actually a comment.
Yeah.
So I listened to your episode on Talk Scary to Me, and it just sounded where you guys stayed and how the arrangements were. It just sounded like the ideal filming experience.
It was perfect. I mean, first of all, I've never done a film where you roll out of bed and you open your door and then the set is right there. And then because it was during COVID and nobody was really in the hotel for the most part. I mean, they broke some rules that we found out later on that they weren't supposed to do, which interrupted filming a little bit. But for the most part, we were alone, so we were able to leave lights hanging and tripods out. And obviously, we take the cameras in and the important stuff. But, that was cool. So that also helped. And we were also living in the space that this movie was taking place in. So it was really creepy and added to, the horror vibes. I mean, this was the dead of winter. So I remember there was a blizzard outside for one of the stuff. Like, there was a shot we cut from the movie where Taylor's coming down the hall. And it's this glass hallway, same hallway that Tim Reed and Charles Edwin Powell are coming down. But it snowed that day. And it's dark. We had darkening everything, but you could see if you lighten everything up, we cut the shot. But there is a blizzard. I'm talking it's got to be 5 feet of snow. It was, again, middle of Gettysburg, whatever. It was probably only 3 feet of snow, but it was a lot of snow. It was so much snow that it was around the time the Super Bowl. I'm a big Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. They were in the Super Bowl that year. And I was going to leave set. We had a week off. I was going to fly down to Florida for the Super Bowl, come back, got snowed in. We couldn't leave. Me and my brother were devastated, but our crew, because again, we were all quarantined together and everything, they threw us a huge Super Bowl party in the lobby of the hotel.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we got fined for said Super Bowl party from the hotel. No, but it was great. Big TV. So that was a nice moment.
Well, I'm sure your cast and crew appreciated all the amenities.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I like the moment with Danielle Harris and the daughter in the the bar area. Just because I remember my mom doing the same thing. She's like, "Look, I know you're gonna drink. Could you just not get drunk or anything?" And then, by the way, I wasn't even drinking. She just thought I was gonna drink all of high school. I'm like, no, that's wait till college. We should have this conversation in college. But I thought that was a very real, the mother-daughter relationship is pretty organic. I feel like, and in that scene is Dave Sheridan. Who I think we both worked with, right? Yeah. How did you enjoy working with Dave Sheridan?
Oh, Dave's great. Dave's funny. I mean, there was so much. I mean, between Dave and even Danny Roebuck and Felissa Rose, the three of them, because they have a big comedic background as well. There was so much material that we had that we just had to cut a lot of it. There was another scene with Dave Sheridan at the bar with the daughter. Like there was a whole nother scene. Again, we had to like, let's get to the horror, right? And where he's hitting on her. And it was kind of funny because then when he comes to hit on the mom, there's like this little parody. It's like, oh, this guy just doesn't care. It's just whoever's in front of him. And then he's hitting on Danny Roebuck, and so that was fun. And Dave gave us a lot to work with. And he's just a super cool, super down to earth, really chill, nice guy. And that was what I loved about everybody in our cast. You know, we really had a great time making this movie. A lot of laughs.
He was like an actor on a prank show I used to work on CMT, the Ed Bassmaster show. I used to be the YouTube guy's Ed Bassmaster's cameraman. He got a TV show. And we had like this whole like production meeting. He was like one of the actors like for the pranks, but I didn't know, like I knew who Dave Sheridan was. I didn't realize it was him. So he like came in like kind of in character, like making like weird comments and weird faces. And I'm just like, who's this guy that's in here? And he was just on constantly. And then eventually I was like, oh wait, you're him. I know who you are.
He should be in Scary Movie 6. They've got to bring him back.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree they should. He's awesome.
But that scene, Danielle's performance, I think this is one of her strongest performances. It felt so natural for her.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
I'm sure she would love to hear that. And I agree. I think she was great. I think she, and that was a reason why she wanted to do the movie too. She was at the time a new mom, and she's never really been offered the mom roles before. You know what I mean? She was the kid, and then she was the teen, and then she's like this badass, just woman in general in the film. So now this was a chance to like let her be a mom, let her be real, very organic, but also still have, not only a soft side, but a stern side. And moms can be badass, kick ass, and she was all for it. And how do you not cast Danielle Harris in that role? So she's someone who's transcended, you know what I mean? Like it's hard like to have a child actor then to kind of go, and every point in her life she's just still kicking ass and doing it and absorbing it and fits all those roles. So that's a really great thing to her.
Yes. I used to go to her fitness studio in LA. She had her own fitness studio. Isn't that cool?
That is cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And this is a little off topic, but on the podcast that you said you worked with Scout, like you were in something with her, but you guys didn't say what.
Penance Lane. So that was a movie called Penance Lane. We played a boyfriend and girlfriend in it. I was an abusive boyfriend. And we had a couple of scenes together. My father was Danny Roebuck, who was the sheriff of the town.
Oh my gosh!
And that's how I met Danny. And we worked on that film together, and that was fun. And then we, remained friends.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. She's sweet. She's great. She's awesome. I'm so happy what she's doing. No, it was in Georgia. We shot it, and Scout's now directing stuff and doing her own projects. So it's really cool to see her journey.
We know Danielle Roebuck as
Saint Nick of Bethlehem.
That was our idea.
And the same character in Terrifier 3.
Well, that
was our idea.
We went to the drive-in, Shankweiler's drive-in, and we joked about while we were there, like that'd be funny if like he's the same character. And then like the same drive-in, like weeks later, like double feature, Terrifier 3 and Saint Nick of Bethlehem. And we're like,
I hope Saint Nick was first, because then it leads right into he leaves.
Well, would it make sense?
The parade,
the around?
And then he goes to the bar.
Wow, I learned to love again. Let me go celebrate at the bar. Sure hope a clown doesn't show up. Okay, so the killers in this movie. When did you decide you wanted the killers to be silent? And how many of their mannerisms and whatnot were dictated by the script, and how much of that was just them? Like, the different like gestures and whatnot they do.
What was the first part? It was
when did you decide to make them like completely silent? Because they're just like regular dudes. Yeah. They can talk. Well, they grunt when they die.
Grunt, they do. Like again, we were like, okay, there are humans. And
sorry about that. Sorry.
Yeah, they are humans. So we're like, and even Player 2, which is David Howard Thornton, he screams when he goes on that whole thing. I don't want to spoiler. But yeah, so obviously there was that, but we just felt that that's part of, and this will be revealed in the sequel and things, but that's part of the rules of the game. You can't engage, you talk and things. And we'll see how that kind of goes. But that was something where we just felt it was more creepy to have them silent, because you don't know what's behind the mask. And that's a lot in any slasher. It's like, who's behind there? What do they look like? What do they sound like? And that kind of removes a little bit of the human element slightly. So that was pretty early on. We decided that. But their mannerisms was a mix of script and a mix, obviously, of just who they are. We did say, again, paying homage to some of these films, like, all right, we want Player 1 to be more of this kind of like generic, this lank, base kind of Michael Myers-esque kind of killer. You know, the brute, the bigger guy was like, okay, he's your Jason Voorhees, your Victor Crowley, your Leatherface, you know. Dave's character, player 2, was your lanky, you know, kind of, maybe he's like a Freddy Krueger, maybe he's like an Art the Clown, you know, kind of wiry kind of guy.
He was kind of like Art the Clown.
You know, yeah, and we tried, I'll tell you this though, we did, and this is a thing to David, is he did want to separate them, and how he did that is, in his mind, player 1 was more fluid in his movements. He was more like dancey, like ballerina.
He was
kind
way
of
more dancey,
showy.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Art the Clown, yes, he is showy, and obviously, I mean, it's hard to when somebody plays the characters right. There's only so much your body can do. But I just know that was a discussion. He said he's going to be a little bit more fluid in his movements, whereas Art the Clown is not as fluid, and he was going to be more showy in like how he gestures things, and it was like a dancer kind of vibe, less of a clown. Obviously, you know, there are correlations. It's the same actor playing it, but and then the girl.
That was my joke, by the way. That wasn't a crit. That was my joke. Is that like he was like Art the Clown because it literally
is Art the Clown. Yeah. But I, you know, and I get it. You know, but there was you know, discussions with that as well. And then obviously the girl, player 3, who I love as well. I think she did a great job, especially playing off of David. You know, that's not an easy thing to come in and do. And she shined. And she's an incredible actress, and she's also a model and, you know, wonderful person. But, you know, there was some Harley Quinn there. Yeah. Of course. You know, so again, it was kind of like taking what we all know and love and then kind of flipping it on its head or adding to it or changing it slightly to where it becomes unique and new and different.
They should sell her mask.
Yeah, where they should. The lipstick.
Did your brother like call it?
No, you know what it was? His was such the base of like, okay, because they're all the same mask, and then they kind of, you know, stylize them to their own personality. So it was like, okay, let's just go with the base mask. And then a lot of the fans, believe it or not, who've been getting them, they've been putting either the lipstick on them themselves.
That's funny.
Or, you know,
you can totally
putting
customize
different.
them,
They're customizing it, which I thought would be some of the fun. Of, you know, giving the masks, you know, selling the masks.
I should customize mine.
Make it something crazy. Who knows? Maybe we'll use it in the sequel.
Maybe.
I even got this before like the movie came out.
That's cool.
Scarecrows had everything, and I think you guys did signings there.
Yeah, Scarecrows is great. They've been so supportive.
Yes.
I heard somebody say one time, this is like the first movie that's like not even out yet, and like people are buying merch and like, you know, which is really great. You know, Chris over there, everybody at Scarecrows really was so supportive of the whole thing. And now, obviously, we're doing more and more with it all, and it's expanded, like the Blu-ray and DVD. He's got them. They're also on Amazon and Walmart for anybody who's not in the area of Scarecrows.
I'm so happy we're a film hub.
Like, it is. It's great. And you know, so it's, and again, digital all over the place. So for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Okay, so I know it's common to say that, you know, actors had fun on set, but Jeffrey Combs looked like he's really having fun on, especially the scene where he's killing Oswald. Yeah. He just looks like he's having so much fun. How much was that?
Probably a little too much fun.
Yeah, I just love where he like, the guy's crying, he goes,
just listen to reason. No, I'm good. Oh, please, God, no.
And he just totally disregards.
No, we really did, and Jeffrey really. That's why I truly believe this is, and I've told Jeff this. I think it's top 3 performances from him, if not definitely top 5.
Yeah,
definitely top 5. And
we know after Faust, but
of course, so maybe not top 6. So, you know, and he was, and I think part of it too was just obviously the atmosphere that we provided. The script kind of lends itself to, you can be a little fun, and the character, you can be somewhat campy, but I think also it was the time, I think, where you just needed to escape, where there was so much craziness that was going on in the world with COVID, and this was such an escape to go and play and do something that we love and create. We were one of the first movies to get greenlit to do by SAG, and there was no vaccines out. There was none of that stuff. It was still, you know, wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance, and now we're making a movie. Again, an isolated area, so that's why we're able to do it. But I think being on set, like once we were in there and the doors were closed, like we forgot about everything. And I think that's another thing. It was an avenue of just release and an outlet for everyone.
Yeah. He really kind of stole the show there. But speaking of stealing the show, Dana Roebuck. He's also having a lot of fun.
Yes.
Did he improv a lot of those lines?
He did.
Okay, I felt like it was improv.
There was a lot of improv. Some was there, obviously, for him to base it off of. And then, obviously, Danny's a great improv master machine, comedy. is his strong suit, and especially the stuff between Felissa and Danny. When he goes, these are my friends, okay? They're my friends. She goes, no, they're not your fucking friends. Oh, you're embarrassing me right now. Like, all that stuff was just, between the two of them, was just hysterical. And there's so much more I hated we had to cut it.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I don't know why, but Dana Roebuck and Felissa Rose as a married couple really worked for me.
Makes sense, right?
I'm like, I kind of want to see just a movie about
I know.
them. Like,
They're pitching hard to do like Lana and whatever, like Maured, the brother and sister, husband, wife, twins. I know it's you know what it is? It's the couple we never knew we needed.
For some reason, I'm like, I totally believe that this is a couple. I feel like I've seen this couple out in the world.
Yeah.
I knew she was in it, but then when she came on screen, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Felissa. Yeah, like I forgot about it. How many eyeballs were used in this movie?
There was a lot. There was a lot of eyeballs. There was definitely at least 4 fake eyeballs for sure.
Okay, well, you say you watch my show, and I feel like you should be very aware of my horrible eye injury phobia that terrifies me. And I think I need you on record right now saying you will never do another eye stabbing in any movie going forward.
Well, I think now we're just gonna have to do double for you.
Oh, come on! It was the one drill part. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah,
come on. Just like,
how cool did it look, though?
A fan made me this. This is a pen
really
holder.
Funny.
I have to stab an eye.
You do, right in, boom.
I made the mistake of being like, hey, guys, you know, this stuff
I remember when you talked about that with Terrifier. I remember that vividly.
It never stops. Why do you guys like doing eye injuries?
Because they're the worst. Like, everybody can feel that. Everyone could feel it. You go to your eye, you know, everyone cringes. It's like the worst thing that could happen to you.
It was the 9-year anniversary.
That and like toothpicks in your fingernails is another brutal one.
The fingernails make me cringe, but I actually did poke my eye. So that one, and I had the fear before
PTSD.
that. How many live streams have you done? Have you ever like managed a live stream?
Yeah. Myself?
Okay. Yeah. One thing I think the movie was missing is something going wrong with the live stream, and Jeffrey Combs being like, "Oh God damn it, what's wrong with the internet? What's up? What's up?" When the kid like hacked into the thing, the first thing I would do is just mess up their bit rate and everything. Was there an idea to have like maybe something, or was that just like a little too realistic? Like have something going wrong with the internet?
So what we tried to do with that, and we've talked about it. The reason was we wanted to make it like, okay, this is a business that he's running. This is. So this has been tried and true before over and over again. So that's why we kind of got rid of any of the live stream things happening. Whereas the kid we wanted to make him that he was smart enough to backdoor it in by using the, their encrypted Wi-Fi and break through the firewall. And be like, this is a new thing that's never happened before, and now they have to figure that one out for the next one. So that's why we didn't do it. Also, it was just, again, it was a 2-hour movie, and it was like, how much longer do we make a slasher that everyone expects to be an hour and 40, hour 30?
I'm just coming in from someone who has to live stream frequently. I'm just like, wow, this was an efficient live stream.
Yeah,
nothing
really
went wrong. Whereas me, I'm just like, your mic's not on.
Yeah,
it switched to the other mic. I gotta leave and come back.
Yeah, for time's sake.
So what is it? David Howard Thornton is player 2, right?
Correct.
Him and the girl team up, and then he has a girl sidekick in Terrifier. Now, I have not watched Screamboat yet. Is there a mouse girl sidekick in that one? We need a mouse girl sidekick.
Yes and no.
Yes and no, I'll say to that.
Sorry.
I hear.
She heard mouse.
Girl sidekick. Oh, but this is very
yes and no, not mouse. Really, but you'll know why I'm saying yes and no to that, and anybody who's seen Screamboat might know why I'm saying that. That was all coincidental, actually.
Okay.
Wasn't planned.
Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, if I turn that movie on and like in the second act there's a little mouse girl, I'm like, this is great.
So that's why I'm saying yes and no. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is something that I think you will do. This is great, but it's not there yet.
Is that on Shudder?
It's on Peacock.
Peacock.
Yeah, it just came out on Peacock.
Gotcha.
Speaking of, when I did my notes initially, I wrote Streamboat, and I'm like, oh, that's a mistake. I'm like, but wait, if the second one is on a cruise.
All of us have done that, actually. It's too similar. Screamboat. Yeah.
Did she leave?
Over there.
What are you doing? Go.
Ready to unplug the camera.
She only comes down here when we're recording to interrupt. Although lately she's been hanging out down here. I don't know what her deal is. Okay. She knows if she gets too close to me, I pick her up. So that's why she's not getting too close.
That's funny.
My favorite kill, the tic-tac-toe kill, Where did that idea come from? That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was the one I'm most proud of for sure because
good. I'm glad that was my favorite.
Definitely the most unique one I think that we had come up with. You know, obviously, like there's a few other ones that I like the way they came out, the way they were executed. They feel great. There's like the barbed wire one, the drill one we talked about. Yeah. But the tic-tac-toe was, again, we figured, okay, we're playing a game. The whole thing is a game that's streamed. It's like, okay, what is a game? That's where it originated from, that we can kind of have some fun with and do with and be in the spirit of. So it was really early on that was in the script. And I was like, I don't think it's ever been done. I've never seen it. And I'm like going through it and then I'm asking people. I asked Damien, I asked so many, and they were like, no, I've never seen that. So that was one we were super excited to do. Didn't know how the hell we were going to execute it.
Yeah.
And then luckily enough, you have Damien Leone and Phil Falcone who were able to bring it to life. You know, it was funny. Damien worked on a lot of the live actors with it. And Phil, you know, did all the prosthetic dummy stuff. And I'm really proud of him, and he really brought it to life, and the two of them, and I love how it came out. I hope, you know, you said it was your favorite.
No, it was my favorite kill. I'm like, that's really clever.
That's one of the
funny.
ones that are talked about, and I got to say, I'm a little disappointed Fangoria didn't give it any nomination or anything with the Chainsaw Awards. I thought for sure they might say something about it.
Well, look, at the next Hackademy Awards, I will give you best kill from a movie last year.
There you go. That's a good category.
The best kill from a movie I missed out on last year.
There you go. There you go. You know, as funny is so the Fangoria thing. I didn't even think about it because obviously we were nominated for Terrifier and we were nominated for Screamboat, and then it was the fans. There was like a write-in. A lot of fans were like messaging me or emailing me or on social media or whatever, and they were saying we're writing in the tic-tac-toe, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So that was cool that they did that. I wonder, we should have that most write-in. I wonder if it won that.
Most written in
thing that wasn't actually nominated.
I have a very important question here. How much can Player 4 bench? How much do you think? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Got to be at least 350.
I saw him lifting up the thing. I'm like, I wonder how much that guy did.
Yeah, he's strong. He's a big dude. Great. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Humble, calm, gentle, docile giant.
Yeah.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. It's usually like those big bastards are like always like. My brother-in-law is like a big dude, and he's like so chill and just so nice. You know, and it's like, why do you guys got to get that big there? What are you afraid of? I don't know. Yeah, he's a great dude.
Real quick, before we get into like some spoilerish territory, do you have any last questions you want to ask before I?
I'm sorry, like my back is kind of. I'm trying to like balance.
Not at the moment. It'll come to me.
That's okay. So I'm going to get into some spoilerish territory, if that's okay. If you haven't seen Stream, well, don't turn this off. It'll hurt retention. Put this video on mute. Keep it playing.
Yeah, there you go. I love that. That's the new thing to do.
Dude, whenever people say stop the thing, go watch, I'm like, no, don't tell them to do that. Yeah. Keep watching.
Keep watching. Mute it. Go watch it.
Throw a towel or whatever over your screen.
Minimize.
So you don't see. But yeah, check it out. You can. It's available video on demand, and you can get the Blu-ray, like you said earlier.
And Blu-ray, DVD, and VHS.
And VHS. Yeah. You can go super old school.
You can. Collector's edition. We have glow-in-the-dark tapes.
Nice.
Yeah, blue edition and green edition.
So, some spoiler stuff here. The idea that Bernard was a former player who joins the game, that reminded me a little bit of the two volunteers in Battle Royale. Where did that idea come from? Like a former player wants to get back in.
You're talking about Tim? You were talking about that thing?
Yeah.
It was just that he, we wanted some kind of twist thing where somebody had knowledge of the game and was able to bet on the game, and know the inner workings of it, you know. And it was like, okay, you know, because how do you, obviously if this thing is going on and people are watching this, there are other people that are betting and viewing and whatever, so they know about it. So like, what would it be if somebody who knew about this wanted to infiltrate the game? How would that kind of play out? And I think it also gave us the distraction with the, you know, he's trying to cheat. Like in games, people try to cheat. So that was like the big thing of having a cheater, and how could that be?
I like that.
And that was that was the start of all that.
So you have two endings. One suggests that the next stream will be at a hospital, and that stars the late Tony Todd. And then the other ending is in the movie theater, which we talked about earlier with Bill Moseley and Terry Kaiser and Tim Curry. Are either of those locations you want to explore in the sequel, or are you thinking of a completely different location?
So part of that was the reason to show the two things was to show that this game is bigger than these players, than these characters, and to show that there are multiple ones going on all at once. Like, that was kind of like our big reveal of like, oh wow, this is bigger than this isolation. Sorry, I did hit that.
That's
bigger than this isolated game. Yes, we do want to explore them. The sequel is going to be in a hospital for sure. It's going to follow the Tony Todd route.
Okay.
But that's not to say we won't visit what's going on in the other thing.
Okay.
The movie theater. We do have ideas for other locations. There are plenty that I'm sure that you can even think of in your own minds where this can go, and I think that's what makes this franchise potential and be limitless and endless and keep it fresh. So there's a lot of different locations we'd like to explore, but right now we're sticking with the hospital because I think it's a perfect setting.
That is a good one.
Of people that are trapped, can't go anywhere, different ethnicities, races, ages, everything that you can talk about all in one location that is similar to...
A million ways to die?
Million ways to die. Yeah, and really creepy, eerie setting, so it lends itself to it. So we're gonna go that route for sure, and we're gonna pay homage and tribute to Tony as well in a way.
That's nice, yeah.
Doylestown Hospital. It could be a Doylestown Hospital.
And the last thing I just really enjoyed, I love that my local Halloween store is sponsoring the murder game. I see scarecrows at the end.
And Grim Life.
Grim Life, Scarecrows. Yeah, that was really cool.
That was funny, but like in the real world, I'm like, no, don't put my logo on.
Right, don't sponsor. And now... the best
Although,
kill brought to you
probably would be. I'd sign off not knowing what it is. What is it? A game? Yeah, sure.
But again, it was to show that business element of it, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's a movie to have some fun with, and that's cool that you picked up on that.
I guess that's all my questions for stream. You don't have anything yet, or are you still thinking?
I asked my question.
You already did? Okay.
Yes.
I have a request here.
Yes.
For stream 2. I just really think I should be one of the players. And
Hey.
would it be okay if I audition for you right now?
Sure, you can. Let's see it. I'd love to see it.
Okay, here we go.
You got the mask and everything.
I have the mask. Yeah. You're gonna be blown away. Okay. All right, ready? I'm player 4. I got big muscles, and I'm gonna punch you good. Rawr. I think that's just talent you can't ignure. I think
you have a future. I think you have a future.
I'm glad you feel that way because
what the future is, I'm not sure, but there's a future.
Well, I hope you don't mind. I want to audition for another movie.
Yes.
I think you are doing a Terrifier. I think there will be a Terrifier 4.
Safe
obviously.
to say.
David Howard Thornton. He's very busy these days. He might not want to come back as Art the Clown. So if you don't mind, I'm going to throw my
Another audition. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, great. Good.
I think I have what it takes to take up the Art the Clown mantle
Okay.
here.
Let's see it.
I think you're really going to be impressed by this. All right, here we go. I'm Art the Clown. Honk. I got a bag full of weapons and I'm going to stab you. I really feel like I became the character.
I think you nailed it.
Will you send that to Damien?
I will.
Will you send,
we'll make sure Damien sees this. As
Thank
soon as
you,
this
thank
is
you.
out, we'll get it over to him.
I think I have one more thing.
Another audition?
I don't have a St. Patrick's Day thing.
Ah!
But, okay, well, I noticed you want to do this Leprechaun movie.
Yes.
And it's cool you got Lyndon Porco to be in it. But listen, man. This is 2025. Get with the times. We get average-sized people to play little people. We live in a world where Hugh Grant is an Oompa Loompa, okay?
That's true.
All right? So I want to audition to be the Leprechaun. Okay. I'm the Leprechaun. I'm going to shine your shoes and bite you and use magic. Word, because he's in the hood. Word. Is that what do you think?
Jig.
What do you,
I think there you go.
There we
that's
go.
some good moves.
If you if you want to know my resume, I was an uncredited extra that you can't see very well in The Dark Knight Rises. I think I have what it takes. I
think you do.
And if you want to kill anyone else on the show, feel free. Casey was in Victor Crowley. She survived Victor Crowley, okay?
That's great. That's awesome.
How'd you get out of that one?
All right.
I survived Bane blowing up a football field. She survived Victor Crowley. I think player or whatever can kill us. Or I could be the player. I think I've I think
I like that. I like that idea.
So everyone, what are your socials so all my fans can tell you that they want me in these things?
Yes. So company, the big one, really the usual is at Fuzz on the Lens, and that's you could find everything from there. For Stream, it's at Stream Franchise. For me, it's changed. It's at Mike Leavy now.
Okay.
Change that. It used to be something else. And yeah, check out our stuff for sure. If you like it, we are trying to hopefully do the next Leprechaun if possible. I wanted to put our hat in the ring. So if anybody knows Lionsgate or Blumhouse, whoever owns the rights to that nowadays, just hashtag Leavy for Leprechaun at them.
And bit aside, if you get that, I will be on your ass to get into a Leprechaun. I will be relentless. You'll have to block me. I'll be like, get me in that movie.
Can WWE not do it again with you?
I don't know.
Okay.
It
they
depends.
didn't do the last one.
They didn't do the last one. They had Sci-Fi did the last one, right?
Sci-Fi.
So it's all a
Okay.
matter. But Lionsgate owns the whole, and then they license it to whoever.
Well, I still have theories if WWE really made a Leprechaun
Right,
movie.
right.
That was
Wink,
a
wink.
movie about goblins in Ireland. Anyway, then we reviewed that.
It's a shame that Oswald had to die in yours. But
Well,
I
that
thought
was
it
my
genius.
one
Who wrote that?
criticism. Like the other movie just did that. You killed that guy
So
twice.
what's funny about actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I love this. So
Okay.
we actually had I wanted to keep this thing short, and we did shoot that the Returns movie
Okay.
was his constant nightmare and vision recurring that he had.
okay.
So we did keep it canon, but then I just felt I really like the filmmakers of Returns,
Yeah.
and I liked Returns, and I didn't want to make it like it was a jab or anything.
Yeah, no,
like we're saying that your movie was a dream.
Yeah.
So we had it in there as a Leprechaun fan to keep it canon, but then I also thought it might be too confusing. So I said, you know what, let's just do the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
Wipe the slate clean and just kind of tell this story of this is how I would have done it if I was
For a fan film,
part
it
of
works,
And for a fan film,
Yeah.
again, we have so many ideas, and I have a few in particular that I would love to pitch to them. That if I put it in this short, then it's out there and everyone knows it. So it's like this was the safest way of kind of doing it.
Yeah.
But we did release, because there was a few people, one of the sequences where Ozzy is having the vision and it flashes back or in his head of this nightmare that he's having of his death
that's funny.
in Returns. And again, that was like his worry that the Leprechaun's going to come back.
Well, like I said, my theory with all the movies is it's a different Leprechaun each time. It just looks like it.
Yeah.
I actually, not too long ago, I did review the comic book, the Leprechaun comic book.
I saw that.
Did you check out that video? Yeah. Oh, so one of the leprechauns was in Leprechaun World and fought God. It was like a medieval fantasy
It was medieval,
thing. It
yeah.
stopped
The
being-
king and
Yeah, I'm
and,
just sitting there like, he doesn't even really kill anyone. He's
I know.
fighting like wizards and
yeah.
shit.
And he's like good, but he's
Yeah,
not.
he's kind of a
It's
good
like-
guy.
I know.
It makes no sense.
It was, and what was his name? They named him
Lubden or
Lubden.
Iabdin. It's kind of confusing.
Which is funny because now that's what most fans, right? They call the Leprechaun Lubden, right?
Yeah.
All throughout. But then I saw an interview with Mark Jones where they had, I can't remember what it was. There was a different name that they had originally thought it was going to be, but then never ended up using it. I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited.
How can we make this happen for you?
How can we help? How can we help?
Not
Look,
that we're much.
I've interviewed the director of Leprechaun 2 on the show. I can
There
hit
you go.
him up.
It's
What do
just
you
a matter
need
of
from
sharing the Leprechaun thing.
Share it.
Reach out to tag him, Lionsgate,
Okay.
Blumhouse, whoever has it, and then also I think what helps is our other projects like Stream.
Yeah.
More people seeing that, getting it out there, because then that kind of puts you on a level where they start to take notice and then they see. So. It all helps.
Stream 2, lines around the block when they find out Tony from Hack the Movies is the new player 4 in it because he has way bigger muscles.
So that's something we also do want to, in a serious note, we do want to, because now with the first movie, it was kind of like this slow burn in the beginning where you're discovering. It's almost like a mystery, right? But now I'm super excited that we can jump right in.
Yeah.
To this one where everybody understands this is what it is. You can go and do some creative, those shots and those camera shots right off the bat. And we're looking to include, different podcasters and YouTube, like really open it up too. So you're onto something here, to where we can partner with a lot of people to make it real and bring those kinds of people into the film. So
awesome. So you heard it here first. I am the new player 4 and Art the Clown and the Leprechaun. I can't believe it. What an amazing announcement.
what a great day.
It's a great day for me.
And horror cinema.
Yes. Cinema just in general. When you win the Oscar for Stream 2,
Right.
You're going to bring me up. You're like, I couldn't have done it without Tony from Hack.
That's it. You did it.
No, for real, I will be in Leprechaun. I will be relentless. Anyway,
if we get it, we'll figure it out.
Casey, where can we find you before we sign off?
You can find me on Instagram at Casey the Final Girl. I'm so close to 5K, people.
Come on, let's do it.
For the end of the year.
5K. And yes, like, share, subscribe, sign up for Patreon, even if it's at the free tier, because you still get the public podcast feed, links to the YouTube and whatever version of it, so you can find it. And yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff on Patreon. I'm planning some stuff for October that at the time of this recording, we haven't done yet. We got to do that. We got to think of a Halloween. I don't even have a Halloween episode planned.
Halloween Town.
No. After Under Wraps, we're never, ever.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
And my dad's a vampire, right? All those ones, those Disney Channel movies.
See.
Yeah.
See, Tony.
The guy begged me for 4 years to do Under Wraps. He left multiple comments on the same video.
Did he rip you apart once you did it?
No, that's the only video he never commented on. He started commenting on other videos. And I'm like, dude, I gave you your wish. I did a whole episode for you, which didn't do well, by the way. Can you guys go back and watch that?
That's actually
And he literally responded. He's like, I just don't want to believe it's over.
Wow. That's insane.
You're kidding.
See, I'd watch the Halloween Town one. The Under Wrap one was like, that's an obscure one. Yeah. But I commend you for listening to your fans and doing it. That's great.
No, because now other people are trying to recommend the same thing over and over again. I'm like, no, that guy killed it for all of you.
Oh,
that guy killed it for all of you.
But you know what? It might remind, like, what I find what's cool about it is what they say something, it might trigger you to be like, oh yeah, I would have done that one on my own. I just forgot about it, maybe.
Okay.
So I don't know.
But yeah, follow us there. And yeah, that's it from us. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.